It's the post-match pints after Liverpool have beat Yokohama 3-1. They do end this fantastic tour with a victory, and these amazing supporters have had 3 great goals to cheer. They turned around in the second half when they went 1-0 down. I was like, oh, I don't really want to be leaving with 2 defeats, and these guys certainly didn't want to see defeats either. But listen, shout out to the young lads in particular who came on. Obviously, Florian Wirtz getting the equaliser was a really nice moment. But for me, those young boys lining up and showing they're ready was something else, and the crowd certainly enjoyed it.
Absolutely, yeah. The first half was a fairly drab affair, to be honest, wasn't it? There wasn't a load to sort of celebrate, particularly from Liverpool's point of view. The lads who played the first half mostly stayed on. There were a couple of changes at half-time, but we saw lots of the main fellas still on second half. And so they started the turnaround, but then the young lads came on and absolutely ripped it up, to be honest. I'm so excited by Rio and Gamoa. Like, this is another one of those moments where I'm like, kind of glad that big fridge Jurgen Klopp's not here to tell us that, like, we need to be patient and all these kinds of things, because Rio and Gamoa is so exciting. Trey and Rio, you know, even after his growth spurt, looks so exciting. I'm so ready to love these lads back in Liverpool now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I might tell us we need to calm down as well, because he's still so young. But listen, we've been talking about whether he's a genuine forward option going into this season, and one of the things levelled at them was, well, has he got the output you want? You know, he's a quality player. You can see how excited he is every time he gets on the ball, but, you know, has he got goals and assists? Well, that goal he got just then, you know, it is only a pre-season friendly, but that's what we're doing today. We're here playing a pre-season friendly, and it's some finish from him, and he looked like he was building towards it. He looked like it was happening.
He just supercharged the whole evening, didn't he? Really, he's so exciting. Like, you know, you're right. The first half was, you know, one of those where I was like looking at it and thinking, God, I hope they get the goal, the fans. But they get 3 in the second half, and you know, there's not much more exciting than when a young player in his first few games with Liverpool, and even some like Trey and Rio, including this, scores a goal for Liverpool, because it's like, yes, do you know what, that's a proper moment for him, no matter whatever happens in his career from then on. And I think there's going to be big things coming from him. But and then Florian Wirtz, you know, your record signing does it as well. It ends up being a perfect evening, and yeah, I'm so excited by Rio. I said in the previous shows that I wondered whether he was going to be the 6th choice. Looking at the way he plays, how he's sort of like dynamic and exciting, and thank you, it was a good point, you're welcome. You know, you're just looking at this footballer who has this belief in himself and has this fearlessness that feels cliched for someone that age, but he really has it. He's just driving at them and taking them on. He had them on toast. So I'm excited to see where his season ends up.
Yeah, listen, Florian Wirtz is being interviewed.
Contending with the big man.
Yeah, people can watch that later. You know, there was just so much to enjoy about the play, the pair of them, and it's funny, I had to go to the team hotel today. I was shocked I was sorting tickets out, very on brand even in pre-season. Listen, we all need to warm up, so I had to go to sort of the team hotel today to try and sort something, and I actually saw them too, just sort of strolling through, and you see how young they look, do you know what I mean? They look like 2 lads on a school trip, you know, but then when you see them on the pitch, they play like men, and like Craig says, Troy's jumped up, and the others are playing so well as well. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, we saw last pre-season what Trey and Rio can do in terms of technique. He obviously had to navigate that growth spurt last season while not playing a ton of football, but possibly still being too young for the football as such to matter. Like, just where you want to be on the training ground around these players and learning, and that's the stage that Rio is at now. Of course, Rio is still, you know, only just breaking through. Best being around the club and learning. Listen, if you know Liverpool do end up sending him out on loan, then I think he's being fast tracked towards that point. So that's even quite exciting in of itself. But I'm with Craig. I can see a world in which he ends up being genuinely 6th choice this season, getting the same sort of minutes as we saw Chiesa getting last season. He actually starts the game against Atkinson and Chiesa doesn't. I'm pretty sure. So even last season there was that consideration sort of flipping between the two of them. If Chiesa goes this summer, which we imagine he probably will, having not come out on the tour and all these things, then it feels to me like there's a surefire place for him, and a surefire place for Trey and Rio as well, because, you know, he has come on physically and the technique is clearly still there. You see that in the second half tonight, so such exciting things to come for both of them. I hope we do keep holding both, but then I hope there are genuine minutes for them, because they both like they're so ready for it.
Yeah, the manager's shown that, you know, you need to be really good to play for this football team, and he's not been too worried about letting a few good young players go, but for them too, you know, I think he's got big plans for them indeed. But that guy on the screen now, Florian Wirtz, you know, gets his first Liverpool goal. I didn't think he was brilliant first half, to be honest with you. I think a few of them struggled with the pitch. The pitch out there wasn't the best, and maybe what they're used to, but just to see him arrive in that box and get a goal, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that.
It's a taster of hopefully what's to come, isn't it? And that's all you're really looking for in pre-season. I think, look, we said in the previous game, results don't matter, but I think goals for new signings matter and goals for young players matter, because it's finding, particularly for the young players more than Florian Wirtz, it's finding that sense of belonging. For Florian Wirtz, it's it's hopefully the first of many, and I'm made up for this lot because the police went ballistic. Like, I'm struggling to hear you two when you're talking there, because they've been so loud and they got so excited when Florian scored. I mean, we did as well. We were sort of stood and I'm bouncing around as if it's a goal that means loads, and actually, it means something, because you want your superstar signing to bed in quickly and to be arriving in the box in these moments and scoring these goals when it really matters. But he's doing already.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Craig just said there, a taste of what's to come, you feel, from him. You've seen it with this League Cup play. Like I said, the passing wasn't incredible today, but I think we can put a big chunk of that down to the pitch. But he just looks like he's not messing about. He just looks like he's here to deliver for Liverpool. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to watching him next year.
Yeah, and listen, there's still going to be a period of gelling. Even if you are a £100 million footballer and if you are as good as the Reds are, there is still going to be that period where there's going to be moments where maybe it doesn't look the slickest and doesn't look the easiest on the eye. And I think you saw that for the first 45 today, albeit in a game that doesn't have, a ton of meaning, at least to the sort of the Liverpool fan back home, I should say, because it means so much to these lot in the stadium. And you saw that when he scored, like the reaction when he scored was there was just a genuine roar in here, because they're so excited to watch this footballer perform really well for Liverpool, and I think he is going to perform really well for Liverpool. As I say, there'll be those moments where it still looks like he's sort of adjusting to it and Liverpool like they're adjusting to him, but when you are a player who's as good as he is, you're going to see the moments of brilliance shining through from early, and one for the goal earlier, but really the truth is, it's been true in the open training so far, it's been true in that first game in Hong Kong as well. So yeah, I can't wait to get back to Anfield and watch him absolutely tear it up this season. He looks like a fellow who's going to win some trophies this season, Gibbo, is what I'd say.
He's got some trophy lifted arms.
He does.
I would say on that. Really nice to see McAllister and Endo on the pitch as well for different reasons. Craig, for McAllister, he's had this sort of slightly strange injury that we didn't know too much about, overhanging from the back end of last season. But he was out on the pitch now and looked like he'd never been away. And yeah, Endo, the ovation when he come on, when everyone realised he was getting the captain's armband, that was a really special moment as well. And yeah, for the two of them in different ways, it was really nice to see them on the pitch.
Yeah, the Endo moment was special, to be honest. He's idolised here. You see it. You hear them singing our song that we created for Endo back in Liverpool. But of course, it's a Liverpool song, and so, they wanted to sort of mark the moment. It was brilliant. It was special sort of to be here, and I mean that was one of the moments that changed the game. I think not in terms of what happens on the pitch, but just like lifted the entire atmosphere. You just felt a real sense of something happening beyond it being a friendly. And McAllister, I was surprised to see him. I was like, oh fucking hell, it's
I wasn't expecting to see him.
The strength in those sort of forward options that Liverpool have in the 8s and the 10s. They've got some belters there. Like Szoboszlai is the one that everyone, when they're picking their midfields, they're picking midfields with McAllister and Wirtz and Gravenberch. You're looking at it going, God, that's like the greatest midfield you've seen. But Szoboszlai I thought was pretty good in the first half and was linking up well with Wirtz. Interesting. I think Szoboszlai's still going to get a lot of minutes. He just might be that he gets moved around a little bit. So, but the end of the moment, was special.
Yeah, nice to see both of them on the pitch, like I said. And Craig there talks about midfield options and bringing McAllister on. I thought Jones was great when he came on as well, and really sort of added energy. I thought all the players who came on the second half really sort of added a bit of impetus, but in particular in the middle. But I mean, it's not bad when you can start with Szoboszlai, you start with Gravenberch and start with Wirtz, and then you bring it on Endo, you bring it on Jones, and you bring it on McAllister. And then Trey and Rio as well. It's decent options.
Talk dirty to me, John. They are some options, aren't they? And there's so much creativity there as well. That's the thing you think, like Craig mentions about them, almost being forward options as 8s and 10s, and that's because that's sheer, technique that all of them possess.
Sorry, bloody Wirtz just got £1 million for getting man of the match. £1 million.
Imagine how much Uniqlo we could buy. Could buy the whole shop.
Does that mean he's got it, or?
I reckon he's got it. Yeah, I'd want it. He's won it.
What is £1 million?
It's about. Oh, I've been all
right. Divide by 2, divide by 100. So
it's about 20 grand. Someone's showing. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. Buying a lot of Uniqlo. as you say, down the shop. Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's all right, don't worry. I was
just getting $1 million
yen. I was going to say, because one of the supremely technical footballers is literally getting paid for how supremely technical he is. And that's the one thing that Liverpool is so blessed with. There's options there who could, we've got Gravenberg playing centre-half in some of the games in this pre-season, and Slot saying that he's a genuine option there. We've got two lads who we're thinking might be false nines at times this season as well. So, so many great options in that midfield. Hopefully more options coming in the forward areas, and definitely there should be more options coming at centre half. It's the sort of the room to improve we keep banging on about. But in terms of improving on that midfield, I'm not sure how you can at the moment. It's got that perfect plethora of options, perfect plethora of age profiles, and that's the thing that excites me so much, is that we could be stood here hopefully in 10 years time, John, in Japan doing this all again, and we're still watching Curtis Jones and Alexi McAllister and Ryan Gravenberg and Trey and Rio and all these lads. So yeah, massively exciting time to be a Liverpool fan. It feels like it's only the beginning of what is a dynasty, and that to me is just absolutely perfect.
$5,000 if I can work that out to us. That doesn't sound as good. There's $1 million yen. Endo's going to lift a plate, a commemorative plate. He's bringing it over. Well in, Endo, lad. Great plate lifting. He's done that before. It feels like a long way away, a long time ago now, but we get here 45 minutes from Ekitike, and I thought he showed some nice touches.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think you can't judge him. He's been here a matter of 6 days with this team. He obviously starts the game, but he's still getting up to fitness and he's still trying to gel and sort of embed himself within the team with his teammates and find out how they play, and them understanding how he plays and what he likes as a forward. Whether it is the drop deep like we've heard, or whether it is those runs in behind. I think there was one really nice run he makes where I think it was Szoboszlai holds on to it, and rather than giving it to him, he holds on. But it's too hard to judge at this stage, isn't he? But he's tall, and some of the goals he was scoring in training the other day looked great, so I'm very excited about him.
There's a strange moment where some of the team are warming down, and then others are doing a lap of honour, and I think they're going to get in each other's way. To be honest with you, so let's try to kind of sort that out. But yeah, more to come from Ekitike, but plenty there to encourage any Liverpool fan watching, I think.
Yeah, I think the physicality was probably the thing that stood out to me the most. He looks so tall on the pitch. He looks like he can still move well for his height as well. I think that's one of them, like I mentioned about Wirtz still taking time to gel before. I think Wirtz is clear that more sort of naturally technically gifted footballer. I think Ekitike is always going to look a little bit like he's not quite gliding around the pitch as such, but there's going to be some huge moments from him. We didn't get any in that first 45, but as Craig said, he's been here a matter of days. He probably barely even knows some of these lads' names that were playing in the second half tonight. So yeah, loads more to come from him, loads more to come from Liverpool, in this transfer window beyond into the season. I'm sure he's going to be a huge part of it.
Just sort of start to round up. In terms of the whole trip, it's been an unusual one in lots of senses. I think with the players maybe coming out, they weren't really sure, how they're going to feel about it with everything that had happened with Diogo. I think Diogo Jota has been marked really well in sort of both games. The huge legends of the football club, Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush, handing out the wreaths before the game. How it's been marked by the fans, the singing on the minute 20 for the number 20, which I'm sure is going to happen all season. I think it feels to me like he's been sort of with us in a way that I think has been quite special.
Yeah, absolutely. Even you read Diaz's leaving post today, it was very much with Diogo at the heart of it. Yeah, it's been really nice. Like, these fans want to sort of show their sort of respect and their tributes for a player that they adored, and they've been able to do that tonight, and they were able to do the same in Hong Kong, and it's really nice. And yeah, it has been something I've really got the sense of, both from sort of club staff and people around the football team, has been that it's felt like this has been a good thing for everyone, in terms of getting the team together, spending a lot of time together, and playing football matches together. Obviously new signings, new faces, new personalities, and that'll lift everything a little bit as well. It's a really difficult time. It's only a matter of weeks after, and it's in football that's a long time, and in life that's not a very long time at all. So loads of respect to the players for what they've been able to do and come out here, and seemingly the way they've trained and put it in, and what they've given these fans out here, which is a genuine moment of their life really for a lot of them. First time watching Liverpool, for a lot of them their first and last maybe. So it's been really, really nicely marked, I think.
Got a nice time?
It's been lovely, hasn't it? Like we've all had a great time. We've been able to enjoy both Hong Kong and Tokyo, two incredible places, two places that, Tokyo was on my bucket list. I had no real expectations of what Hong Kong was going to be like, and both have managed to exceed my expectations. And it looks like the players have been able to enjoy that. And Craig said it really well there as well. That I think you've just seen a serious amount of strength from these young men, because that's what they are, and we forget that sometimes. I always like the Neil line that we treat them like they're our dads sometimes, because they're these giants of world football, and they make all of our dreams come true. But at the end of the day, you have to remember they are young lads. You see some of them on the pitch there tonight, still in their teens, and managing to score goals for Liverpool and impress fans all around the world. And they've done that off the back of an unspeakable tragedy that's happened at home for them, because it's happened back in Liverpool, but also because it deeply impacts them and their families. We've seen Alisson Becker going back on personal matters, and he was very close with Diogo, and his wife was very close with Diogo's wife, and there's all these different sort of connections and relationships, and a lot of them are forged on trips like this, on rooming with other lads and all these things. So yeah, massive amount of respect, as Craig said, to the players. A serious show of strength from both them and these fans, and I'm sure Diogo would have been so proud of everything we've seen out here.
It's two countries that have been so far away, or are so far away to us, and two cultures that are so very different, particularly Japan, and that's why I've loved experiencing this and seeing the fans and watching them experience this, watching their heroes on the pitch. But it's made me feel a lot closer to them in a way as well. Every Liverpool fan that we've spoken to out here, and just hear them.
Going to Epilogue last night, where the supporters come meet and things like that.
By the way,
just being in there and imagining what it's like on a match day.
Seeing the shirts and seeing the goals and hearing the stories of what it was like when they watched the Barcelona game or when Liverpool win the league and so on. So yeah, it's been special.
It's been a special trip. Thanks a lot to Japan and Hong Kong for being so welcoming, and all the people that we met along the way. I hope you guys have enjoyed all the content. We've been putting loads of the video stuff out for free, so if you have enjoyed it, we would encourage you to subscribe, because I think the team are ready to go. I think the team are ready to win, and I, for one, can't wait. Up the Reds.